Hi, I'm John Paduano from Long Island, New York. I'm 51 years old and do tree work for a living. I feel a lot younger than 51. A lot of people call me a bull, or if I'm up in the tree they call me a bear. I'm pretty much a plain Jane kind of guy. I don't like jewelry. What you see is what you get. Shorts, t-shirt. That's pretty much it. I'll put on a little dress shirt if I have to go out or something, and I'll show you my dressed up outfit. Yep. Wardrobe malfunction. There we go. That's me dressed up. I'm a determined kind of guy. I do pretty much anything I put my mind to. I do it the best I can. Among my peers in the tree business, I'm known as one of the best tree removal guys on the island, or in Suffolk County anyway. Among fishermen, I'm known as one of the best on the island. And I tie bucktails, and they're known as the best that you can buy, and they pretty much are. That determination allows me to bench press 300 pounds and max out the back machines at the gym after just 2 months, which I do pretty much every winter when tree work slows down. I'm pretty tough. I can handle pain. I broke my hand right here once and didn't even miss a day's work. I like hard work. I like the feeling that comes with it, the sense of accomplishment that comes with it. It's good, It's just a good feeling after a good hard day's work, and you see the results of that hard work. The tree work, it makes me be very innovative. You have to think. Every job is different, which is why I love it so much. And I'm 51. I'm still climbing trees. So kids climb trees. I got a good sense of humor, although my family might not agree. And I never panic. I mean, I'm always cool no matter what the situation, even if it's life or death. I'm always cool, calm, and collect. I actually saved my friend's life. We were fishing on a jetty on the South Shore, and it was really rough. There was waves. There was a set coming from the southeast, and the wind kicked up out of the southwest earlier. So we had double sets of waves coming in. And to make a long story short, it makes a good long story, but to make a long story short, he got washed off, and in the dead of night, about 11 o'clock at night, I had to go down and get him. But that's another story for another time. Why do I want to be on Top Hooker? Well, first of all, I'd be perfect for it. Second of all, I would win. I've been fishing my whole life, since I can even remember. The earliest memory I have is I was probably 5 or 6. And it's been a passion of mine ever since. I have logged tens of thousands of hours fishing. It's beyond a passion for me. It's an obsession, and it's been a lifelong obsession. Thrill seeker, I climb trees every day. I bungee jump from 300 feet. Yeah, I'm a thrill seeker. I'm still as strong as an ox. So I can handle any physical challenge you can. As far as the fishing challenge, there's very few people, or if any, that have more hours fishing than I do in this country. I have tens of thousands of hours. It is my main hobby, my main obsession, my main passion. I've done all types of fishing. I've done fly fishing for trout in Colorado, or fly fishing everywhere, tarpon, bonefish. River fishing, I do steelies, salmon, all sorts of river fishing. Inshore fishing is my main thing. I love inshore bays, inshore shallows, flats fishing for tarpon, for bonefish, for permit. I go offshore, mahi-mahi, makos, sharks, some tuna. And all types of fishing. I'll use noodle rods up on the Salmon River for salmon. I'll use spinning rods. My favorite rod is a 6-foot spinning rod with 8-pound test. I just do it for the fun of it. I stay low key. I don't like the attention. Every once in a while I'll enter a tournament. and I usually win, place, or very close to the top every time I do. Um, I'm very knowledgeable. A lot, you know, a younger person can't even compare it to somebody who's been fishing for 40 years, 45 years. Blue rods. I catch 50-pound bass on 8-pound test, 6-foot rods. Mahi mahi. I've caught what would have been the surf court record tarpon down in the Keys, 84 inches, fat as all heck, well over 200, probably well over 220 pounds, which blows away the surf record. I caught that from shore. I do all types of fishing. I do offshore, inshore, lakes, streams, ponds. I love flats fishing in the flats in the Keys. I catch all kinds, I go for all kinds of, pretty much every game fish except muskie I've caught. And I do it with all kinds of tackle. I love fly fishing. Really my passion is light tackle fishing. I know offshore fishing well. I do that. Bridge fishing. It's just I use all kinds of fish. You know, spinning, conventional. It doesn't matter. Thing I like about fishing is you're constantly learning. So I'm always looking for new spots, and new tackle, new ways to catch fish. That's what keeps me going. I mainly use artificials, and most of my fishing is done on bucktails or leadheads. And as of now, I have over 175 species on just leadhead lures, and that could be marabou jigs, regular bucktails, bucktails with some plastic bodies. But that's not, I'm not tipping the jigs with bait. It's pure artificial, and I got over 175 fish on artificials alone. And I can go in anybody's backyard and outfish them pretty much at will. For instance, I took my brother-in-law to Sebastian. We were down at my timeshare in Orlando, and we went to Sebastian Inlet. And first time I ever went there, and I got my little 6-foot rod, bucktails, and I knew the redfish were running, so I was fairly confident I could catch them. And I go up on the pier, and the resident expert there, because you want it's a little smirk like this, and I'm like, you don't do that. So within 5 minutes, I had like a 20-pound redfish. And we netted that, put him in the pier net. And he's like, looking over like, well, about another 5-10 minutes, I got one that's about 30-35 pounds. We net that. Now the guy wants to be my buddy, and I'm like, none of that. But it's pretty much, anywhere I go, upstate New York, an old pro, pretty much a legend up there. Fishes the same thing as everybody else, eggs, egg sacs, drifts them. I go up there on my little jigs, 1 or 2 pound test sprayed, and I'll walk down there. Everybody's just drifting their egg sacs. I'll make a cast, bang, steely. Another cast, bang, steely. Another cast, maybe I'll miss one. Another cast. I mean, I'm fishing different than everybody else, and the fish respond well. Now when I go up there, and the same guy sees me, he's like, oh, here comes the feather man. That's what they call me up there, because I use the marabou jigs that are made out of feathers. So, I consistently outproduce these, local legends at their own game, doing my own thing. I mainly fish different than everybody else. I have a different retrieve than pretty much everybody else. I'm going to include a video I took this morning. A good friend of mine to help me take that this morning, and you can see on that my retrieve is a little original, but the fish really respond well to it. It triggers them into hitting it, and if there's fish around, I can catch them. I'm not a bragger. I don't brag. I like to stay low key, and but I'll tell you right now, if there's fish there, I can catch them. I'm frequently asked, why am I a good fisherman? What makes me better than the other fishermen? And the honest answer is it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of observation. A lot goes into it. There's a lot of trial and error. For every good spot I have, there's probably half a dozen spots that I tried that didn't pan out. For every technique I developed, there's probably a few that didn't turn out to be fish producing. I make it a habit to think like a fish, try to visualize where the fish will be, where I'm fishing at. Fish don't like to stay in the main current, depending on the kind of fish. They'll they'll try to seek an area where they're out of the current, but the bait fish comes by and they can ambush. Some fish, they do like the current. You got to know the species of fish you're after. You got to know what kind of habitat they like. You got to know how they feed. A bonefish on the flats in Florida feeds a lot different than a tuna out in the ocean. So you got to think like the fish you're targeting, or the fish that are available to you. And I use lures, so you got to, when you use an artificial, you got to make that lure look like the bait fish that they're going after. And over the years, you could smell most bait fish. Bunker have a different smell than sand eels, that have a different smell than bay anchovies, that have a different smell than spearing. And somebody who's been out there fishing all their life, they can distinguish the differences in the smell of bait fish. So when you hit upon a spot and you can smell that bait fish, you know how those bait fish move, and you can adapt your lure to imitate that predominant bait fish that's available to the fish that you're trying to catch. I do a lot of spear diving. I do free diving for tropical fish. I used to do a lot of free diving for lobsters. And when you're down there, you can see how all the different bait fish, they behave. You can observe their behavior, and you kind of like realize how they move. And most of them, they go in short bursts. They don't have the stamina to go more than a few feet at a time. So when a fish chases after them, they go for a short burst. And if you imitate that, you're pretty much in. I shot a video this morning. My friend and I, we went out to Plum Gut, and we did a quick video this morning. And you can see on my retrieve. My retrieve is different than pretty much anybody else's. But you can see my retriever snap, and I kind of like imitate that bait fish fleeing away. And on the video you can see it works pretty good. But I'm also very in tune to what's happening outside. In my whole life, I've never had an inside job. I've always worked outside. I am very in tune to the weather and changes in weather. Sometimes, and I'm sure other people can relate to this, that have fished as long as I can, or maybe not even fishing, maybe hunting. They can smell in the air when the change is about to come. They can smell when it's going to be good. You just feel that the fishing is going to be good or it's going to be bad. For the most part, low pressure systems coming in. I'm out there. I'm fishing. And with my job, trees, when it's raining, I'm pretty much not working. So if it's raining, I'm fishing. And when it's raining, that's pretty much the best time to go fishing. Raining, windy, tropical storms, northeasters. It's it works out good. It's been a perfect job for that. I also use whatever else is available. Looking for slicks, birds. Depending on what kind of bird, it'll help you tell what kind of bait fish are there, whether they're terns or gulls. Or pelicans. The amount of time a pelican stays underwater after he crashes the water can tell you, what kind of fish the pelicans are feeding on, which gives you an indication of what's available. They can also help you locate, pods of fish that you can't find if it's like the bunker schools on the south shore of Long Island. If it's rough out, it's hard to find the bunker schools. But I'll go out there and I'll watch the ospreys, and they'll go by, and the ospreys they got the bird's eye view. They know where the pods are. So you just, if I see them out in 40 feet of water, I'm spending my time out in 40 feet of water. Meanwhile, everybody else is in 20 feet because yesterday the pods were in 20 feet. Or if the pods are, say 50 feet to 20 feet, those osprey are going to be where the predatory fish are, because those predatory fish, the bass and the blues, are going to be pushing those bunker schools up. And it makes it easier for the osprey to get them. If there's no predators on those schools have a tendency to stay down low, and it makes it harder for them to feed. So that's just one example of how you can use what's available to your advantage. And if the other people don't learn that, they're missing out. I'm also very innovative. Years ago I was bridge fishing, and this is when I first started. It was like well, first started really seriously bridge fishing. And I was up there, and you know, the fish are all on bunker, big bait. Bunker, you know, they're a big herring kind of fish. And well, it's, you know, that are available at the time were bucktails, which were like this. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I had something that looked like a bunker, I could catch these fish. Well, that night I went home and I tied up a bucktail, took a whole deer tail, but it ended up being like that big. And the next day I went down there and I kicked butt. I mean, I caught a ton of fish. And ever since then, I've been making my own bucktails. For instance, and you know, each bucktail is a different place. This bucktail, I don't know, you should be able to see it. You know, this cream color, this is perfect for the Keys. I catch a lot of tarpon, a lot of snook, some permit. Pretty much anything in the Keys or Florida, the tropical waters, loves this color combination. This is another one. If the current's moving fast, I'll use, or the water's dirty, I'll use this color. But you can't find these bucktails anywhere. I'm the only one that makes them. The big eyes, the split tail. When this goes through the water, this tail vibrates a little bit. You don't need, you know, any trailer. And because you're not using a trailer, you can really snap these jigs to get the, you know, that movement I was talking about earlier with the fleeing bait fish. I also make, you know, what I call the critters. It looks just like a shrimp. The bonefish, tarpon, permit, they destroy these. You can't find any of these jigs anywhere. I'm the only one that makes these. And the reason I make them is because they weren't available. And all these give me an advantage. Everybody that I give them to, or I've sold a few to, they all love them. Some of my accomplishments are I won a New York State surf fishing contest. That's all the surf fishing clubs on the island in New York State. It goes by a point system. I won that. I came in second or third another year. I wasn't in clubs too long. It's like they want you to do all the work and call you when you start catching fish. I wasn't into that. I mean, if you're not going to do the work, you're not going to reap the benefits. I was in a weak fish contest. We won first prize on that, won a boat. Bluefish contest, I got second or third in that. I really don't join too many contests. I don't know why. I just like fishing. I'm a little low key. I enjoy fishing. But you know, every contest I do join, honestly, I'm usually in the top 1 or 2%. Usually just out of the money, or I'm in there a little bit. I've got, you know, a few world record fish that I never put in, and you know, I got witnesses to them. I probably got 3 or 4 fish, weak fish that are over 20 pounds. All those are world records. White perch, I can pretty much every winter get a couple world record white perch. All right, to sum it up, why you should pick me. Main reason is I will win. I mean, I am more knowledgeable than pretty much all of your applicants, or most of them. I've been fishing for 45 years. It's been a lifelong obsession or passion. I got an edge with my techniques, my lures, if I'm allowed to use them. I'm low key, but I'm very competitive. And you know, just other skills too that you mentioned, like the archery. I'm an excellent archery shot. I've killed elk unguided in the Colorado Rocky Mountains with a bow. And if I'm picked to go in this contest, I will be the next top hooker.